All right, today we're going to dive into something really interesting, a new economic model that's trying to fix a massive problem in online education, actually finishing the courses you start. Yeah, this is a system where you don't just pay to learn, you can actually earn while you do it. So let's break down how that works.
Okay, be honest with me for a second. Have you ever signed up for an online course, totally pumped to learn something new, only to, just stop? Maybe a few weeks in? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It happens to almost everyone. But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't your motivation?
Exactly. The core idea we're digging into today is that maybe the issue isn't us. Maybe it's the system itself. You know that old pay up front and hope for the best model? It's kind of static. It doesn't really reward you for sticking with it, and a lot of people are starting to think it's time for a total shakeup.
So to really get why this new model is a big deal, we got to look at the problem it's trying to solve. Online learning is huge, right? But that massive growth has also highlighted some pretty major cracks in the foundation.
And here are the big ones. You've got issues with quality control, right? But the real killer is engagement and retention, getting people to actually finish. Then there's a whole issue of making sure educators get paid fairly. And let's face it, a lot of it feels impersonal. All of these problems, they kind of stem from the same place, that outdated one-and-done payment model.
Okay, so what's the potential fix here? Well, we're going to look at a specific platform called Work.Courses, and what they're doing is pretty radical. They're using blockchain technology to try and tackle all those issues we just talked about. The goal isn't just to be another course website, it's to completely rewire the economic incentives for everyone involved. And the heart of this whole thing, the absolute engine, is a native crypto token they call the $work token. So instead of using regular money, everything on the platform, buying a course, paying an instructor, getting rewarded, it all happens with this one token. It basically creates its own self-contained economy built from the ground up just for learning.
Now, before we go any deeper, let's nail down a really important term: tokenomics. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Just think of it as the rule book for a cryptocurrency. It's the set of rules that dictates everything: how the token is used, how many of them are out there, and what gives it value inside its own world. In this case, inside this learning platform. It's the economics of the token.
So you might be wondering, what's this all built on? Well, the platform uses the Cardano blockchain, and they chose it for some really practical reasons. We're talking low transaction costs, which means fees are cheap and predictable for users. It's got top-notch security, which is obviously crucial, and it's built to scale, so it won't crash and burn as more people join. Basically, they're going for something that's cheap, safe, and reliable. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this work token actually, work? How does it move around and keep this whole ecosystem humming?
The flow of the token is actually pretty straightforward. First, you, the learner, get some WRK tokens to pay for a course. Then you spend those tokens to enroll. That WRK then goes to the instructor as payment for their hard work, and finally, a small platform fee is taken out to keep the whole system running. It's a simple, closed loop where the token is always moving.
And those fees, they're actually super important. They're not just about making money for the platform. This is a crucial piece of the tokenomics. The fees help manage the token's overall value and can even fund a treasury to keep the economy stable. Plus, that's what pays for new features and keeps the platform growing. So they have a really big job to do.
Okay, now we get to the really cool part, the feature that's designed to smash that engagement problem we talked about earlier. This is the whole learn and earn model. Yep, getting paid to learn. And this quote really sums up the whole philosophy: redefining online learning. Earn while you discover, grow, and achieve. See, it's about shifting the focus. It's not just a one-time purchase anymore. It's about rewarding you for the journey of actually making progress.
So what does this look like in practice, at least for the first version of the platform? The number is 2.5%. When you complete a course, you get 2.5% of what you paid back in WORK tokens. Simple, clean, and a great place to start.
Let's make that super tangible. Say you spend $1,000 work tokens on a course. You put in the effort, you finish all the modules, boom, you get $25 work tokens sent right back to you. It's a real, direct reward for seeing it through to the end.
But, and this is important, that 2.5% is just the beginning. It's the MVP, the starting point. The future vision is way more dynamic. We're talking about a system where rewards could change based on how tough a course is, or you could get bonuses for logging in and learning every day. Building a streak. So it's going to get a lot more sophisticated over time. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The rewards you earn will always serve as motivation, not a substantial monetary prize. Let's be clear, this isn't about getting rich from learning online. It's a psychological nudge. It's that little bit of motivation, that small incentive, to help you build a habit and get to the finish line. The real prize is supposed to be what you learned along the way.
So where does this leave us? When you put it all together, what do you have? Is this just a fun little experiment with crypto? Or could this blend of tokenomics and learning incentives actually be the start of a whole new way of thinking about online education?
The goal here is to create what they call a virtuous cycle. It's this idea that everyone wins. When you, the user, are engaged, the instructors get rewarded, and the whole platform gets stronger. It's built for the long haul, with a focus on stability and, importantly, evolving based on what the community actually wants and needs.
Which brings us to one final big question to think about. In a learn and earn model like this, where's the real value? Is it the handful of tokens you get back in your wallet? Or is it the actual knowledge you finally gained, because that tiny little reward was just enough to keep you going? It really makes you think about what it takes to motivate us, doesn't it?